What up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Creeps of the Crypt. I'm your host, John, along with me, as always, is my co-host.
Father Alan. How you doing, man?
That's right, and I don't know if you can hear me, actually. You can hear me. They can obviously hear me. Hold on a second.
You want to check if we can hear you?
No, it's fine. So we're doing this live. We're doing it live for the first time. Because we want to test something out here. So we're actually getting an episode, you guys getting an episode earlier if you even care about this podcast. And this podcast is a Tales from the Crypt podcast where we discuss old episodes of Tales from the Crypt. That's why it's titled Creeps of the Crypt. And we will be discussing other things probably later on once we pass. Because I don't know how podcasts do it. I've said this a million times. There are podcasts for like, what's that show called?
Severance?
No.
I'm just throwing a show randomly out there.
They have podcasts for like
like Sopranos, right?
Recently, this is a YouTube channel called Atomic Abe. I actually saw his AL Cats interview I talked about last week. But there's a episode of he talked about a spin-off series of Growing Pains called 10 is Enough or something like that. And so he was talking about that, and there's a podcast dedicated to that. There's a podcast dedicated to that show. And like they had people they interviewed from that show on there. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we just I don't know how they're gonna they have a little bit more. No, I think they had less seasons than Tales from the Crypt. So we should be able to stretch this. I don't know how long they've been going for, but there's also a podcast for Quantum Leap I talked about that I was a fan of like 5 years ago, and that was before the new series came out. And they've been going still for all these. They just keep going back and revisiting the old episodes over and over again. And I just go, wow, that's something. That takes something. But we got a lot of stuff we can talk about. We talk about the comic books, the TV show, the movies, right? Because there's another movie too on top of that. And we can also talk about the cartoon. There's a cartoon of Tales from the Crypt that I've never seen before. We can talk about,
I've heard of it, but I never got around to watching that one growing up.
Yeah, we could talk about Creep Show, the series, that because they're based off of, well, I don't know if the series is based off EC Comics, but they were inspired, the original Creep Show, Stephen King and George Romero, as we said over and over, inspired by that. So, that's interesting enough. So, so here we are. We're doing this. We're doing season 4, episode 4, titled
Episode 4, yep.
Yeah, titled Seance. So, but anyway, before that, how you been, buddy? Nice to see you.
Been all right. Yeah, just been keeping busy. It's warming up here now this time of year, at least in Vegas. So just trying to stay cool. And then, I've been messing around with Twitch and stuff. So I'm trying to do more streams on there lately, just to kind of, I don't know, do something different and see if we can build a core audience here at the Splinter 47 stream. But just been playing games on there, and it's like the whole process. I think we're just kind of dedicated and trying to do what we can to put out a good show or stream. So it's like a process trying to edit all the things in the background. If anybody's ever messed with OBS and just putting things together, like just to make it your own stream, it takes some time. So I've been putting in some hours here and there to try to kind of give it some life. I could easily just put a webcam in the corner and the freaking game on the background, but trying to do a little bit more, making my own. But that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing too exciting. How about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, I just got problems I don't want to talk about here. So there's probably
everything's been be on the deleted scene right there.
No, I can't edit it now. We're doing it live, and and I can't record it, so I can't record it from the
gotcha.
studio. So whatever is live. So you guys listening to it will actually, I will edit it afterwards, because this is not going to be stay up. This is just staying up for now, temporarily. And I can't see I can see a chat, but not really very well. But anyway, so it's the same thing every day. Nothing really spectacular happened. Kind of depressing, to be quite honest. Yeah, I'm waiting for something to be mentioned or told to me, and it's been bothering me, like doing a background check on me. So I've been like desperately waiting to see the confirmation, and it's been like a week. I don't understand it. So why it's taking so long.
Well,
And they said, "What?
yeah.
Works fine." So we don't understand. Just wait until tomorrow. They said basically. That they told me that 3 days ago. Wait till the 28th. So that's when we're recording this is the end of the month. Anyway, let's talk about this
Well,
episode.
good news. Well, good news. Before we get into the episode, I don't know how much you want to get into it, but the good side of everything. Besides that, something went on IG.
Oh yeah,
Somebody you got a
but,
message request on there.
yeah,
I don't want to
well,
delve into it too much unless you want to.
they're not even responding. Really. So you know.
That's some
Anyway,
good news here, folks.
can you hear the music in the background?
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I was like, where was that coming from for a second? But that was you.
Yeah, that's how we do the
But yeah,
podcast.
I give it some music back there. Yeah.
So now we have a whole studio set up over here. It's interesting enough. But I don't know. I wanted to see how this goes. I want to do a show about something else as well. Like I like doing these sometimes these Tales from the Crypt episodes. I do enjoy them, especially this one for some reason. Even though I will get into it later on. There's some things that I didn't like, but all in all, I thought it was not terrible. Could have been better, but this is fun going back and watching these. So somebody told me in the comment section of the last video that I sound like Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, I got no respect. Yeah, I don't think I sound like Rodney Dangerfield. I might look like him with the big eyes, but I don't sound.
It might be just that what they're referencing. Yeah.
Oh, they said they were cooking and they heard me and I sound like Rodney Dangerfield because they had the audio playing in the background. So I was like, I don't sound like Rodney Dangerfield.
They must have been high as me right now because I don't sound like Rodney.
I told you to get high. I was like, listen, get high.
Yeah.
You seem like you little do the show sometimes. It says relax.
I guess what you're kind of getting at is like, yeah, I'm open to do other things or covering other parts of the
something. I don't know
TV show or gaming. Not even gaming. Gaming's kind of dead right now. Movies, even movies are kind of dead too. But there's always stuff to talk about from the past that I think it's just like Tales from the Crypt. Like I've been enjoying watching it too. It's been really cool going back to these shows and just seeing how that media was done back then compared to now, and
you know what I want to do.
And then going back and forth between comparisons on the adaptations.
Let's get into the episode of Tales from the Crypt. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about season 4, episode 4, titled Seance, which originally aired on July 4th, 1992. It was written by Harry Anderson and directed by Gary Fleder. I think that's how you say his name. And Gary Fleder directed such films as Imposter, Kiss the Girls, which I do remember seeing, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. I've never seen that. But that is a good movie, I've heard. And Runaway Jury. And I liked Runaway Jury a lot. I remember when I saw it in theaters, I really liked it. But now looking back on it, it's like propaganda. So like, this is such bullshit. But at the time, I really liked the movie a lot. There's notes over here in the
Harry Anderson also was in Corman's Calamity. He played the lead in that.
Anyway, you're right. He was in Corman's Calamity. I wrote that on there. It says Harry Anderson is better known for his role in season 2, Corman's Calamity, as well as playing Harry Stone in Night Court. That's where I know him from the most. Which they actually have a reboot now with that girl from The Big Bang Theory, the petite girl with the glasses. So she's his daughter, and this guy's still alive. I'm surprised. John Larroquette. I'm like, oh my god, he's so old. Anyway, the episode stars Cathy Moriarty, who's been in a bunch of things. Most notably, I know her from is Raging Bull.
I fucked all of them. What do you want me to say?
What do you mean you fuck? Who'd you fuck?
I fucked all of them. Tommy, Salvi, your brother. Oh, I sucked your brother's cock. What do you want me to say?
You sucked his cock.
It also stars Ben Cross and John Vernon from Animal House.
0.0.
But why don't you give us the synopsis of this episode, Alan?
Basically, 2 con artists attempt to steal the fortune of a rich man, and through that process, accidentally ended up killing him, and then They're kind of like trying to create this fake seance for his wife that's blind, and then yeah, not everything goes to plan on this one.
That's basically all it is. I will say he did a pretty decent job, and he's a writer because he wrote his own show after this episode. He had his own show called Dave's World, which he was the star of, and it would last. I had never seen it, and I never heard about it until looking this up. And then he was like 5 years or 7 years that show went on for. I was like, Jesus,
Damn, that's a long time. I
yeah, I
never
was
heard
like,
of it.
for him, yeah. So never heard of the show, never seen it on reruns, nothing. It's like Dave's World is what he's known for. 98 episodes.
Damn, I mean that's a pretty good run.
Yeah, that's a great.
You can only hope for like at least 12, these days.
Yeah. So the episode opens up in this mystic's office, right, or the storefront. It's a mystic, and her name is Allison Peterson, but we don't really know that yet. All we know is she's chanting and like basically she's doing a seance, and she's requesting the spirit of a man to come speak to her, and she's doing it in this thick like gypsy accent, I guess, or I don't know what kind of accent, Russian type, Albanian,
stereotypical gypsy voice,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden this spirit shadow figure starts walking into the room, and she's like, do you have something to tell us? Do you have something you want to say? And he keeps walking, and then she's like, Jesus Christ, you're supposed to say that. Her accent changes. Is like, she's like, Benny, you forgot your line. And he's like, it's not the line. By the way, they say a word instead of like for the mark, like instead of saying mark, like they call him like geek or deck, the deck or something like that. He's like, he's basically like, so Benny's like, it's not the line that he has a problem with. It's either the outfit and also the mark that they're targeting for this little charade that they're doing. And Allison Peterson, we're gonna find out that's her name. She's very upset at Benny. Well, we don't know why, but she mentions like this is not the first time he screwed up. That he screwed up once in Pittsburgh, and she goes, "Remember Pittsburgh, Benny? You owe me." And she's like basically saying she doesn't want to live on Monkey Island, which is where everybody else lives, I guess, all the losers. And she wants this, she needs this score
based.
And then she says like, "This is it. After this, we're done. Like we don't work together anymore." So
yeah, kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of dynamic there, but with like conning people out of their money. It seemed like they have a checkered past.
Yeah,
from what I gathered on that one.
Yeah, well, that and that she's had enough of his ass, so he's done something.
Yeah.
So anyway, we hear the door open, and she starts talking. She's like, "Oh, they're here. Get in the closet." She kind of sounds like Fran Drescher, in my opinion, where she's talking. So she gets him into the closet. He gets in there. She goes, "Can you see?" I guess it's like a two-way mirror. And he goes, yeah, I can see. And then you hear like, this is the one part I have a problem with because it didn't make sense to me, right? So you hear like a bump, like something happened, right? And then she goes, Jesus, you're making so much noise. You're going to get us caught or whatever. And then a different voice says, I'm sorry, right? I think. And then he goes, can you see me? Like, he goes, how do I look? She goes, you look fantastic or whatever. It's a different voice. It's what the voice we're going to hear later on as the show goes on, the episode goes on. But this didn't make sense to me because afterwards, when the woman walks in, the mark, Allison does her little voice, her accent, and makes her sit down. And then they start talking. And then you hear Benny's voice how did I get myself into this situation?
Yeah.
So
that's kind of like they put like a little filter on it, like he was just, you were hearing what he was thinking.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Either way, though, it doesn't. That when that bump happens, right? I think something happened, and then because the voice changes, it's not Benny's voice anymore.
I think you got something there. Like, we'll kind of circle back to that later on as like what happens at the end. Yeah, I think you got a point now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm like, but anyway, so then we flashback.
Go back to like a week earlier. Yeah, we kind of start in a new scene.
And where are we in this scene?
They're pretty much like talking about their plan on swindling this new person. I think they're kind of work on making up a story, right? And Benny was like the executioner of like the estate of some guy that ends up that she's passing off to be as her uncle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's pretending he's the lawyer. Yeah, but like you said, yeah, of the guy. So so this guy walks in. He's supposed to be a rich man. He's Mr. Chalmers, and he walks in, but he does give a little hint of what's going to happen to him. As soon as he walks in, he goes, "Sorry, I'm late, but that elevator isn't working."
Yeah, the elevator was busted.
The elevator's busted. I was like, "That's interesting." That they gave that little. Okay,
That he
nice.
mentioned it. Yeah, that's a little foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, yeah. So then, basically, the lawyer's telling they're both con artists. We discover obviously because we saw them already earlier together trying to do a seance thing to some woman, and now we see them doing this thing to this guy. So we know they're con artists right off the bat. And then
they're playing characters pretty much.
And she's supposed to be his long lost cousin that they both didn't know about, and that her father basically was. She goes, "Your cousins." He goes, "How are my cousins? This is unbelievable." And he goes, "You remember your brother?" And he goes, "All I know about my brother, my mother told me, is that he died when he was young." And he goes, "Oh, she lied." And he goes, her brother was a bank robber. Basically, he robbed a bank. And at the time, in 1901, he robbed a bank of $200,000. But then he got caught and he got sent to prison for 20 years. And then when he got out of prison, he did very well for himself in Chicago. He invested his money, and basically he's a multimillionaire, and he's got $3 million of investment. But I did the math. $200,000 in 1901, at today's value would be $6 million. Right? That's how much $200,000 could buy you back in 1901. Now in 1991, that would be $3 million. That's how much it would have been, which is the same amount that they said he invested the money, and I mean, he didn't do shit. He invested the money, and he could have just kept it. Oh, so I guess he made the $3 million because it's not technically $3 million. That's how much the 200,000 would have been. So,
that's what they were trying to get across. Yeah, that certain number.
1991 would have been, you could buy $3 million worth of stuff in 1901, but he did invest and he made, okay, never mind. So he did invest and make $3 million. So there is a profit there. Okay, I was thinking of it the wrong way. Okay,
it's
anyway.
like interest, that collected.
Okay. I was like, oh, he could have just kept the money and it would. No, it's not. The money didn't go up in value, but technically, it's like how much 200,000 in 1901 would have been in 1991, which is he invested. He made that difference, so he got $3 million. But anyway. They asked the lawyer to leave, and Chalmers is like, or Chalmers, he's like, I don't believe this guy. And she goes, yeah, me neither. And then she starts talking about her father was a war hero, but then she's coming on to him, which is disgusting considering.
A lot of sexual energy ever since they met. Yeah, like that guy Chalmers was smitten with with her, with Allison, or they call her Al. And then playing this other, the character as like their cousins. So they got some freaky things going on there. And they were flirting the whole time. So they're trying to get on his good side.
And then she says, like, let me look into this lawyer and see what I can find out about the investment and see if it's real. Just like, meet me tonight at this whatever room. So we see, there's con artists. They're in the room together. They're planning to fucking con this bastard or blackmail him if he doesn't go through with what they're planning to do already. Like if he doesn't go through with this investment scheme to give them money to basically buy the guy out, because the lawyer says he doesn't want any money. But like it's somehow they have to, I don't know, do some finagling, because if the government finds out, they're going to see that he invested the $200,000 that he basically stole from the bank, that's what he invested and made $3 million. So they have to do some finagling in order to get their money back.
What I understood basically is, Benny's playing that lawyer and pretty much, hey, if we go through this deal and don't tell the police, then all I ask for is 10% of the commission. But I mean, basically, I think what was the number, like $300K that he would give him.
Or
they're just conning him, pretty much conning that guy at $300,000. I don't even think this whole all bullshit they made up is even real. None of this exists. They're just trying to get $300,000.
I know that. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, So if
But
he
that's
doesn't go
a
through
quite a
with
scheme. That's what I was saying.
yeah, but if he doesn't go through with it, their plan is to blackmail him because she's basically
Yeah.
that's what her plan is, to him to come in, for her to seduce him, and then to basically have sex with him. And this guy's taking pictures behind the closet, and they're playing some music. I try to look up them song. It's not a real song.
Yeah, that plays into the factor
Yes.
as the episode goes on. Yeah.
So he comes in and they talk, and then she kisses him, and then he's like, "Oh, kissing cousins, are we?"
The guy's freaky. Yeah.
No. And
Kissing,
he's like,
fucking his cousins.
"Let's do this." And he goes, "Should I turn off the light?" And she goes, "No, I want to see all of you." I was like, "Oh."
She's like, I want to see every inch of you.
Yeah, right.
And it's funny because they got this like little film noir thing going on. Because even in the
No,
beginning,
it's not
Crypt
like
Keeper showed up and like,
Yeah.
hey, she
Or like Humphrey
talking in
Bogart.
like talking like Humphrey. So this is a very like film noir-esque kind of episode. And they even film her though, a lot of the scenes where
Or like just
like a solo, like a shadow, like Morticia they used to do. There was just a light and then the shadow above her head and below her. That's a cool little touch. That's kind of just that femme fatale vibes.
Yeah, I like that. I like the she was so slimy in a way, because she's the one being like a man would say, like,
Yeah.
"No, I want to see all of you," you know. And
She's
she's
trying
saying,
to
like,
distract them and give her the give him the goods. She did a good job. I like Cathy Moriarty is a good actress.
yeah, she's a really good actress. So they bang, and then he's taking pictures, and I'm like, no way in 1940s would a camera be able to work in
Be
the
that
closet.
quiet.
No flash. I mean, the 60s,
Yeah,
when they were doing
imagine.
the Twilight Zone episodes, they had to have cameras with. Oh no, I don't think so. Actually, who knows? Anyway, I just thought that was a little bit. Well, you got to suspend your disbelief, right? I just didn't think that was possible. But they make love.
Pretty much, yeah. And
And he kind of says earlier on that he thought, like, he goes, "I think you really just want to get your rocks off. Like, you want to have sex with this guy. Like, that's. I don't think this is, that
I think I got that vibe
maybe
too.
worth it or something, I think that's what he was saying to her.
Right.
So the next day, Benny's in his office and he's looking at the photos. He's like, he's laughing. He's like, this poor bum, and he's like, this poor
Like
guy.
it just shitting out on that. This freaking guy.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he what did he do? They come in holding hand, like ready together, like,
Yeah, they
and
come in together. Yeah.
he brings in his thing, goes, and Benny goes, I'm really not comfortable with you guys buying me out of this deal. And he goes, "Oh, really?" or something. And he opens the suitcase that he has, and it's just stacked full of cash.
Right.
And then Benny looks and he goes, "Okay, I'll sign the papers." So he gets up to go get the papers to sign, and he starts humming the song that they were making love to last night. And you see her face.
Yeah, that part was wild.
Yeah, it was great for her because her face was like she was like, "Motherfucker, are you serious right now?" And then he realizes, and he goes, "Is that your favorite song too?" Right? He goes, I see I've been swindled or whatever, or like you trying to make a fool out of me.
A couple 2-bit hustlers.
Yeah, so he slams the suitcase down. He's ready to leave, and they go, "No, wait, Benny, show him the photos." I like how she changes to okay, there's a movie I talked about it earlier of I think it's a 40s film. It's called Detour. She's like that girl in that movie Detour, where she was like, that's like the 40s strong independent woman. Like they were like that, and they talk like that in movies at least. And she does that, and he shows him the pictures, and he goes, "Oh my God, revolting." Even he's disgusted by his appearance. And then she's like, Betty goes, "Hey, we're gonna show that." Oh no, she says, "I hope you have a forgiving wife, Mr. Chalmers." And then he starts laughing so loud, and he's like, "My wife will never see these."
Yeah, exactly. He just walks off with the pictures.
Yeah, and he walks off, and then she gets pissed, and she's like, "Stop him before." So she gets mad. She gets out a gun. She's following him, and I'm like, "Wait, she's not gonna do this," because I haven't seen this episode in years. So I see these people in the hallway, like this people sitting there in the hallway. She just walks right by them, points the gun at him. He's by the elevator, and she's like, he goes, "Please, Mrs. Her name is Parker, Allison,
It's Peterson,
whatever." He goes, "You're a lot of things, but I don't think you're a killer, and then she's like, she doesn't do it, or she's about to do it, or something, and then all of a sudden, like the door of the elevator opens, and he steps through, and he's ah! And then they look, and he fell.
Benny tried to stop her pretty much
Yeah.
before he fell off the elevator.
But he fell in, and he goes, "Oh my god!" They're like, "Oh my god, he fell down there," you know. And then he's like, "Help me!"
Yeah, that part was funny. Like he's still alive.
You go, "Oh my god, he's still there!" And then all of a sudden, you see he looks at the elevators coming down, and it's so funny because it's way too fast. I mean, maybe it was that fast.
That was going pretty quick.
In the 40s too, they had doormen. Even in the 60s, they had elevator doormen. You know, like I don't know. And so, but whatever. It's the show. So we're straight down, and then you just hear the crunch that it crunched to. He's like, ah! And then it comes back up, and then you see his intestines and stuff hanging off of the bottom of the elevator, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I was half expecting that Will Ferrell scene from Austin Powers. Like it just keeps he's still alive, right? And gets run. The elevator comes up and down 2 more times.
We've got a lot of work to do.
Someone help me! I'm still alive, only I'm very badly burned.
yeah, that would be hilarious. So, yeah. So then later that day, they're in the police station, and they're sitting there. They're like, "I can't believe this happened," and then she goes, "All your fault because you have a big stupid mouth. You couldn't, you know." And then the police officer comes out and goes, "Thanks, Mrs. Chalmers. We could take his things or whatever." And then they look at them and says, "You guys can go. Your statements check out." And then they looked and they realize that that's the wife. So then they go, "Oh, you know, maybe we could get." And they see the suitcase, so they're gonna try.
Briefcase had blood and his guts on there. Any of you saw that?
Yeah. And she could. Well, this is what happens. So they go. "Hi, Mrs. Chalmers. We're this Mrs. Peterson. I'm a relative." And they go, "Oh yes, my husband told me. You know, I just want you to know I'm going to go through with whatever the deal was." So they go, oh, they're like all excited, right? And they go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Here, this is for you." She goes, "What?" And they go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see." So then you realize why he was so cocky. Like, my wife's never gonna see these because she's
right, because she's blind.
So he's so they're like,
great.
"Oh God." So this gives her like a spark in her head, like, "Oh, we could have conned this bitch now. We're gonna get this money," because she says she's gonna go through with it. Oh no, because she said, "I just have to speak to my husband first." And they look at her like,
husband?
Dead, dude.
He's dead.
You know, and she goes, "Oh, I mean, I have to speak to her through whatever, some medium or whatever medium." Yeah. So then they're like, that's Allison's goal, and then that's where we start. We go back to where we started the episode, which was they're conning this woman. She's there, and they're trying to get her to give the money to them.
Pretty much rehearsing everything before she got there. Yeah.
So then
what we saw in the beginning.
What happens now?
They tie up like the madam that Mrs. Chalmers was talking about, that they wanted to go do a seance, just speak for the husband from the afterlife, and they pretty much just telling her, we're gonna use up your joint, and I'm gonna pass myself off as this madam. And it was Miss Chalmers that showed up, and then some other guy. I didn't catch who that guy was.
He was the new chauffeur.
Oh, the new chauffeur,
New chauffeur. This is my new chauffeur. Because I was thinking, wait a second, if the guy at the police station who is a chauffeur was with her, he would recognize this woman, you know. And she also did not. She says, whatever her name is, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Oh yes, darling, I just have a little cold." So the voice is different, right? So that was funny. So they go in, and she does the whole routine again, and then this guy comes out, and as he's coming out, you go ahead, you tell this part.
Yeah, you see like somebody in a hood, and you think it's Benny because they were rehearsing this earlier, and then it sounds like the guy that died, and pretty much was saying
Preston, right? Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott. Yeah.
Preston. Mr. Chalmers.
Is that Al was asking the spirit, is like, what do you want us to do with the with the money? And he says something else. It's like, I'm I might always be faithful to you and whatever. It's like, okay, what about the money?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just waiting for a response and say, what should we do with the money? And I forgot what was the other thing he said. I can't remember the line.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I want to give it to them personally, and then he starts walking slowly up to them, just like the comic too. There's this part there.
Yeah, and then he goes into her chest with his, just reaches in, bam, grabs her freaking her heart, and rips it out. And she starts screaming, and
yeah, he opens that briefcase too, and they show Benny's cut off head before he goes and just does that heart chest punch and grabbing her heart.
Yeah.
What do you say? It's like yeah, I'll have a heart after all, or something like that.
Yeah,
he had like the kind of like zombie or makeup, but it was just damage he took from the elevator fall.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, this one worked better than like the other episodes where they turn into zombies and come back for revenge.
Yeah. Well, that depends. It works better than one with this girl. What's her name?
Yeah, this one works better, but the other one with not Anne Hathaway. What's her name?
I was gonna say Tiffany Haddish. what's her
Tiffany Haddish?
The girl from Superman, Lois and Clark.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I forgot her name too. But this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show you a little scene right here of those.
Terry Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher. But this is the ending of the episode.
You might call this bait and switch. Your friend Benny was right.
Oh, Jesus Christ, in a cardigan sweater.
You ain't got no heart.
That's what happened. So yeah, that was the episode. Let's talk about the comic book for a brief moment, and then we'll give our
the comic book was interesting.
Yep, here we go. Seance. This is the comic that is basically two guys. They're basically conning one guy out of money. He leaves. He says that his wife is the one that talks to, his wife is the one that talks to mystics or whatever. He says, "Hi, I'm only Josh, and Madame Gilda is a medium.
Gilda, yeah.
She brings back the spirits of the dead and all that rot. My wife believes in her completely, but of course she's a monstrous fake. Of course, ha ha ha, naturally, ha 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 ha." So as soon as he leaves, they start laughing their asses off. This is only the beginning. We're gonna rob him. Like we're gonna keep taking money out of him every week. And they basically told him that they have some sort of business and it's just losing money, and then he has to keep investing money into this business. So one day, he walks in, and they're laughing their asses off before he gets there. And it said if he ever found out that there really isn't any business at all, he'd have a fit. "So you've been cheating me, swindlers, thieves! I'll have you put in jail." He says, "Chalmers." So they kept his name. This guy, Harry T. Stone, I'm gonna call him Harry Anderson. He kept his name. He kept the guy's name, Chalmers. He goes, now, don't be hasty, Chalmers. And he goes, "To think I've been such a fool as to let you dupe me and rob me. Well, I'll see my lawyer tomorrow morning and take action against you. You'll spend the rest of your lives in prison." And then he left, and then they go, "You know what we got to do? Kill him."
Yeah, pretty much chased his ass down and drove him off the cliff.
Yeah,
that's a cool little shot right there. I like that little panel.
Yeah,
the car all wrecked.
People, if you're listening to the podcast, this is the part where we actually show pictures of the comic book that we're talking about. So sorry that we don't describe everything perfectly, but yes, there's a cool shot where they pull up next to Chalmers' car, they chased him down, and then just swerved into him. Now hit him, and he swerved into him, knocked him off the road. And then his wife does not look like the blind wife in the she was not even blind. She could see perfectly fine. Several days after Mr. Chalmers was buried, the two swindlers paid their respects to the grieving widow. "Good evening, Mrs. Chalmers. My name is Ben Ganter. This is my friend, George Dent. We were business associates of Mr. Chalmers." "Oh, yes.
I've heard him mention you. Please sit down. Well, gentlemen, now that my husband is gone, I think I ought to withdraw the money he invested into your firm.
What? But Mrs. Chalmers, for what reason?
Well, I know nothing about business, and I'm afraid of losing it, so...
But your husband had absolute faith in us. You have nothing to fear.
I know, but well, perhaps you're right. But I'll have to ask my husband first.
Your husband? But Mrs. Chalmers, isn't he? I mean, that's...
Yes, he's dead, but I know a person who's able to bring him back from the spirit world to commune with me.
Madam Gilda? They're both thinking. So I did not get past this part. So I only stopped right there, as I was like, oh, it's pretty much the same. So I was like, nothing much to go by. So let me see. Over here it goes,
in a few days, gentlemen, after I have spoken with my husband, I shall give you my decision.
Yes, of course, Mrs. Chalmers. We'll be leaving now. Good day. Blasted. A fortune within our grasp, and she has to talk to spirits.
That part was cool.
We're not licked yet. We can still get her money if Madam Gilda gives her okay. Madam Gilda, that crook.
Meanwhile, they're stealing from this show.
That crook.
That's crook.
That's right, Ben. A crook out to make a dishonest buck. And if we make it worth her while. So then we have the Crypt Keeper talking, or the Vault Keeper, different. In answer to their knocks, Madam Gilda herself opened the heavy oaken door and ushered them silently into the seance room.
You wish to commune with the spirits, gentlemen?
No, we wish to commune with
Bunny.
you, Madam Gilda, about a mutual friend, Mrs. Chalmers.
Indeed, Mrs. Chalmers is a fine woman. That is it. What?
Oh, what? So said that.
Mrs. Chalmers is a fine woman. What is it that you speak of?
Her husband died lately, and it would be most profitable to us if the spirits deemed it wise for her to continue to do business with us. Naturally, it would be profitable for you also, if you could somehow cooperate a little further. I did not
paying her off.
Oh, God. So then she goes,
I believe we understand one another. What do you have in mind?
And he goes, well, we'll bring Mrs. Chalmers here for a private seance, but in the darkness, my friend here will leave the table and hide behind those drapes.
Yes, and then?
Why, it's simple. While he's back there, he'll put on some luminescent stage makeup, and then he'll appear as Mr. Chalmers. See, what's the point of him? That's not, wait.
That part was going extra right there, yeah.
No, not here. Here makes sense because she's not blind. But she's blind. Why the fuck did he have to come out?
Yeah, and makeup. That's true.
Right? Well, they had to do it just to do it, you know. I understand. Right. It doesn't make sense. But now she was her name was Dorothy Chalmers, and what she did was she would ask the chauffeur, what's happening? You know, what's happening?
Right.
It's Mr. Chalmers. Right. So anyway, don't worry. Oh no, don't worry. Leave everything to us. 500 now. You'll get more when the seance is over. Agreed?
Agreed.
And then she goes,
I'll lock the door to assume us of privacy.
To assure us
of privacy. The spirits dislike being interrupted.
Mrs. Chalmers will sit on my left, Mr. Dent on my right. That's her talking. Anyway, she does the seance, blasted witch. She certainly puts on a good show, is saying, thinking these things. And she goes, Mrs. Chalmers wishes to speak with her husband from the spirit world. Are you there, John Chambers? Blazes, George should be he should have came out already. John, are you there? Can you hear me? Mrs. Chalmers, look, I can see him. There he is. And you see the spirit, and it is him. It's Chalmers. He comes out and
Mm-hmm.
he chokes this guy. For heaven's sake, he doesn't have he doesn't have to overdo it. Say, he's walking right up to the table. John, answer me. John, what are you doing? Hey, stop, you fool. You'll ruin everything. George, stop it. You're choking me. John, what are you doing? Stop it. You're killing him. Stop. That was not the plan. I feel like she sounds like, for some reason, Skeletor. Last
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you got it down right there.
Yeah. My husband killed Mr. Ganter. He strangled him and returned to the spirit world. No, it was not your husband. It was Mr. Dent. What are you talking about? Listen to me, Ganter and Dent bought. It tells her the whole story. And then they look behind the curtain and he's dead too. I know that, but no one else was in the room but us. Who? How? Your guess is as good as mine, kiddies. So yeah, that was that's the actual original version. I hope you enjoyed my beautiful
Fantastic commentary. Thank you.
my beautiful reading of the episode of the comic. And there's more to the comic. I skipped a bunch of stuff because I'm like, no. But it's basically the same exact thing, except two guys and they both die instead of a guy and a girl. And to tell you the truth, I like what they did with this episode more, I think, after reading the comic. But
Yeah, I agree.
But I will say I dislike the intro. I don't think it spoils the entire episode. Because we already know that what the ends. You know what I mean?
No, I can see that, but it was a cool little. I don't know, just one of those things they do. Where they do like a flash forward in the beginning and then they go flashback. So I get that, but I guess even at the beginning, the first time I saw it, I was like, wonder what's going on here. But yeah, it kind of gives it some kind of air of what to expect. But I guess the only thing we didn't get spoiled on, at least, that he would come back and kill him, Mr. Chalmers. So that was like,
tells from the Crypt,
it's kind of a setup.
Yeah,
but they didn't lay it out that obvious with this other.
You hear him in the closet. It's like you hear the doo-doo. It says, "Are you you idiot? You're gonna get caught." Sorry, there's a different voice, so you already know that he died right there.
Yeah, he just killed him. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
that part was cool.
And somehow he has. How did I get myself into this? I guess it's in his head after he's dead. But all in all, though, I do like the episode. I like Cathy Moriarty and John Vernon. Even he's a great actor. He was in Animal House or whatever. But she's fantastic in this. She sells it as this vixen from the 40s, this seductress con artist. I believed her. And for an episode that I didn't expect anything and don't even remember, right? To watch it and be like, this is actually really good and really enjoy it. I think I'm going to give this a little bit higher score than I was planning to. So I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I actually enjoy this. I don't like the intro. If it was just a straight up, like, I guess because the Crypt Keeper kind of ruins it in a sense because he's doing the, hey, sweetie. Right. Like, it was just like, not that he didn't do a bad job. I'm just saying, like, he set the tempo of the episode,
Mm-hmm.
We just got like the intro of her. He had a different intro and just told the, this story I call whatever Seance, right? Or he was doing a Ouija board type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of what he did, then we could have had the lawyer's office and her walk in with Mr. Chambers, or her talk to him like before Chalmers walked in. And then we saw the full episode play out the way it ends up playing out. I think I would have enjoyed it more. So that's why I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, for me, this is a really solid one. I really liked how they adapted the original source material, which wasn't bad on its own, but I think I liked the changes they made to kind of make it a little bit different, but relatively, as you saw when your great audio narration, that it was pretty much beat for beat, just a change of how things happen how they get there, and then the characters were both male, and then this one, they're like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of duo. I really like this one a lot. I surprised that it didn't rain anything in my head thinking about this one. I watched it, but it was good. I think it's one of the better ones this season so far.
Yeah,
I like this more than the last one, even though
I like them both.
it's gonna not. I like what it was trying to do, but this one I'll rewatch more than the one before with
Like
the
the
rock
last-
star.
Cassandra. Oh, it was Scarlet. Was it Scarlet? But I like the last one. I thought it was good, and I like this one. But this one I liked a lot more. I was surprised because I don't remember this one at all. At all. This is like a nothing. Like like doesn't even didn't. But the acting is so great. She's fantastic. She's really.
That's really what makes them. Yeah, the
It's-
acting makes this story elevates the story more. So
setting the time. It's the.
they did a good
40s.
job with it.
It has to be around the 40s, 1901, 20 years in jail. Comes out. He's had a little time out of jail. He's like, what I mean? Like, so she's like 40s, late 40s. And after she calls him like a World War I hero. She said her father said he was. But anyway, all in all, highly enjoyed this episode. Yeah, that's it. So that's this episode this week or this month early, ladies and
Oh yeah,
gentlemen.
quickly. I'm gonna do a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. I really like this one.
You didn't say the number 4 out of 5. That's high. Ooh, good for you.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I think it's good.
I get 3.5 out of 5. I don't know if I get the last episode higher. 'Cause we don't remember when.
I think it was the same. I think it was the same 3.5 or 3. We're being pretty I guess considerate of it, given some of the gore stuff they did later on.
Yeah. Well,
But I'd rather watch this one over that one. I will be honest about that one.
all right. Well, I liked. I probably would watch this. Well, no. I like them both. I really do like them both. The last two were great episodes, and I'm trying to see one thing before we go. Let me see. That last episode was on a dead man's chest. Before that one was, "This will kill you." No. So
yeah, not the best one.
so far, this season is not that bad. Leading up to. Oh, the next episode I don't know either. So can't wait. All right. Next episode is titled Beauty Rest. Don't remember it at all. So anyway, we will see you guys next time. Do you want to plug anything before we leave?
Yeah, if you're on Twitch, you could follow me at Splinter47. I'm gonna start trying to do some random streams here and there and try to build up some more, I don't know, some more time on there and see if I can be an affiliate or something. And yeah, that's what I got going on there.
All right. Somehow your blips are not syncing for some reason.
Uh-oh.
So no, now that's weird. All right. Anyway, yeah, you guys should check out ghostcrusadersmerch.com. Got cool shirts there inspired by Tales from the Crypt. You can also follow us at Creeps of Crypt on X. And on YouTube, go to Ghost Crusaders TV. That's where the podcast visually is there, all the episodes, or just Google Creeps of the Crypt. Actually, you can't. I think there's another podcast similar with name. Just go on YouTube and search
Right.
Ghost Crusaders TV or Creeps of the Crypt on YouTube, and you'll find us, or on Rumble and Spotify, on iTunes. You can find us on there at Creeps of Crypt. Yeah, that's all. So anyway, we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace.